Hello and welcome to Who Watches Who, a Doctor Who podcast for the end of month news. Yay! I'm Matthew, and as always, I'm joined by...
Scott, hello.
Hello, Scott. There's not a lot of Doctor Who news this month, but some of it's quite big. Wouldn't you say?
As big as you can get, honestly.
Yes, some of the... It's pretty routine for news like this in Doctor Who, but it's always somewhat surprising and sad when it does happen. You know?
Especially when it feels like, well, if the news is Jodie is supposed to leave next year, she's got 8 episodes in season 13 and 2 specials for next year, so...
God, season 13 is going to be 8 episodes.
Yeah, because of COVID.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, we're definitely shortening it, which is understandable. We want to get it out this year.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 more episodes would be too much, I guess.
Yeah, but yeah, she's like I suspected was going to happen, if you remember in last month's news.
Yeah.
Doing this last season, that she's going to do some specials, and then she's on her way out. Which sucks. It sucks. I really hope this is the season that makes her Doctor.
It's got to be, right? It's her last... Oh, it's not her last chance, it's Chibnall's last chance to make a good Doctor.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. She just needs one speech. That's it. That's all she needs, you know? Like, Capaldi's war speech is what she needs, that equivalent. Just a speech that just, like... allows her performance to shine through, you know?
I think she needs more than a speech at this point, honestly.
With 8 episodes, the speech is really all we can hope for.
But again, it is a mirror, so it's not even confirmed by the BBC yet either way. Like,
they won't confirm it till closer.
Like, we first heard rumours from the Mirror about her exit in January. The BBC still hasn't said a word. The BBC hasn't even promoted the new season yet. That's how low things have been for the BBC.
Yeah, it being 8 episodes is understandable because of COVID. It does fill me with some dread, because you always see it in shows that are on their way out in their later seasons. They start getting less and less episodes until it just ends. And I can see a day where there's no new Doctor Who seasons and they do like a New Year's special every year or so.
Yeah, the only fools and horse it just do Christmas specials till the end of eternity.
Yeah. And I don't like that vision. I don't like that timeline. I want Doctor Who all the time, constantly.
See, the reason why Doctor Who has been taking so long to produce episodes, they take 11 months to film 11 episodes for the last 2 seasons. And it's because the show is going more cinematic, which I approve of. But at the same time, the quality of the scripts need to go up as well.
Yeah, they're not lacking in production value at all. Jodie's Doctor Who seasons undoubtedly are the prettiest Doctor Who has ever looked, you know? Like, the effects are up, the shots are beautiful, it's color corrected really nicely.
Like last week, we both were just in awe over some of the shots, like the opening shots in particular. Like when that aired, I was like, "Huh, this is Doctor Who now," and it got me excited. But the scripts, yeah.
Yeah, I really hope that this season's good. God damn it. I don't want Jodie to be because if she say that her season's bad, I think she'll be the first modern Doctor at least where I've not liked any of their seasons and I've not really gotten on board with them as the Doctor. And that's a terrible feeling. It sucks.
I'm more in the camp of thinking it's okay. It's nothing. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. It's just watchable, but yeah, that's not good enough, in my opinion.
I don't know if I would be watching it if I wasn't a fan of Doctor Who, you know?
I probably wouldn't either. It would be one of those shows like His Dark Materials, the Golden Compass show, where I watch it. It's watchable, it's pretty to look at, but I don't connect to it in any way.
There's no substance to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what we were describing last week with the pilot episode for Jodi. Well, I say the pilot episode, The Woman Who Fell to Earth. It's not really a pilot, it's season 13 or season 12. But it's like the...
season 11.
Hey, I know numbers. It's the... there's just something almost indescribable missing from that episode that really would tie it together. And that's suffered with Jodi's scripts the entire time. And if they find that missing piece, then it'll be good. But yeah, you get it with a lot of modern sci-fi shows nowadays. You know, like Star Trek Discovery is a terrible show. But
I haven't seen it. I've only seen the J.J. Abrams films and the like half of the first season of the original series. And that's all the Star Trek I've seen.
I'm a really big fan of Star Trek. I've seen a lot of Star Trek. And Discovery is really hard to get into. It does the thing that a lot of really big modern properties do where they make it a prequel for no reason.
Yeah.
And they redesigned the Klingons and they look really ugly. But the issue that I like with Discovery is, again, just it doesn't quite feel like Star Trek. There's something missing from it. And like the first season of Star Trek Discovery is terrible for about 6 episodes. And then the later the second half of the season is honestly fucking incredible. And it really turned me around on the show until season 2 came out, and then they lost it and they dropped the ball again. I couldn't get into it. But it's I don't know what it is. I don't know when sci-fi became bad, or perhaps has sci-fi always been bad? No.
Have you ever seen The Orville by Seth MacFarlane?
No, but I heard it's supposed to be if Discovery was good.
Yes, I've seen both seasons and it's very, very good. It's basically a riff on Star Trek with Family Guy humor, but the Family Guy humor gets toned down in season 2 and it becomes like really deep, and I recommend it. It's very good.
If it ever comes over to the UK shores and I don't have to use a VPN, I'll watch it.
It was on Fox, but Fox, the TV channel, is going bye-bye because of Disney removing all their channels from the UK. Like, Disney Channel doesn't exist anymore.
Well, I mean, I haven't had Sky in over 10 years, so fuck it, I don't care. But
it'll end up on Disney Plus at some point.
Yeah, I was about to say it'll come to Disney Plus, and then I'll just watch it there, which is lovely. Disney Plus has got the weirdest combination of shows and movies, I think, out of any streaming service.
Oh yeah. Like, it's got Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and The Fly starring Jeff Goldblum.
Yep, it's it's got like Cinderella and also The Walking Dead coming in July.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's a well put together streaming service, and Disney own everything, so
it's probably the best out of all the streaming service in terms of quality. Like, there's so many good shows, especially the originals.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the UI though. I really don't like Disney Plus's the design of it. I think it's clunky.
I don't like how the last watch section automatically plays for the next episode when you want to choose another episode, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm, yeah. For me, Disney Plus has recently just been ignoring the fact I've been watching episodes. So I'll go on to watch, like, say, an episode of The Bad Batch, and it's like, you've not even watched this show. And I'm like, I'm like 7 episodes in. What are you talking about?
I wish every streaming service just used the Netflix model. Like, just steal their UI.
It's the best UI. It's like Prime has got some amazing stuff on it, but the joke I always have with Prime, with some of my friends, is Amazon aren't aware they actually have Prime. They have so many things, they just like, oh yeah, we'll also do this, whatever, and we'll just stick it on there because they have all the money, and so they don't really care about how Prime's laid out.
Yeah, on Prime you'll find Lord of the Rings, and then somehow you'll find like a million Roblox videos. Like there's no quality control.
I think you mean that they have the highest quality control. No other streaming service will let you watch that many Roblox videos.
Like I found a TV show on there not so long ago. It was literally ripped from videotapes. Like
Amazing.
you know, in America they have like the TV 14 logo at the top of the screen when it starts. It literally had that.
Brilliant. Yeah, Amazon, you can find some real gems on Amazon. But it's still, I enjoy it as a streaming service. But Netflix is the king, you know? They just have everything figured out streaming wise because they've been doing it the longest.
Yeah.
What a weird tangent to go off on from Jodi's generating.
I don't remember how we got to that.
Neither do I. My question for you before we move into some of the other news, and it's the classic Doctor Who question: who do you want to see as the next Doctor?
All I care about is who's a good actor and who's got a good personality. That's all I care about.
That's
like anyone.
That's
literally
the wrong answer.
Literally anyone can be a Doctor, because the Doctor is basically the actor's personality. Like when Tom Baker joined the role, the Doctor just is Tom Baker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't care who's the Doctor.
The correct answer, if you're curious, is me. I should be cast as the Doctor. And I await your phone call, BBC. Thank you very much. Shall we move on to the next part of the news?
Heck yes.
Cool. Do you want to take the first one, or shall I?
Basically,
yeah.
Well, basically, we're going to talk about the covers of future Doctor Who books not featuring Jodi Whittaker, which is tied into the whole Jodie leaving the show.
I actually have a Jodi Whittaker Doctor Who book in my bookshelf. I haven't read it yet.
Good for you. Which one?
I don't remember. What is it? What is it?
Is it a novel? Is it
it's
encyclopedia?
It's a novel. It's a very small novel. It's like 200 pages. But it's a novel. I don't remember what it is. Oh god, I can picture it. I can't remember what the word is.
Is it in your room?
No, it's in my living room. I'm genuinely gonna go find out.
Yeah, go get it.
Hang on. This is good audio. I'm back. The book. It's a very nice hardcover book. It's how many pages is it? Before we get to the title. 230 pages. Quite a big font. Very spaced out, so not that many words in it. You know, it's Doctor Who. It's for kids, but it's The Good Doctor by Juno Dawson. Look at that lovely book cover.
Interesting. I had...
These look very familiar.
Yeah, I honestly had no idea they still did those kind of books, because I remember reading some of the 9th Doctor and 10th Doctor books, and they were very similar with large font and like 200 pages.
Yeah, I have a 10th Doctor book as well, which has the monsters from Father's Day, or it's possibly a 9th Doctor. I think it's a 10th Doctor book. You know, the time monster.
Yeah, the Reapers.
Yeah. But do you not think that this red ball thing looks like from Ravagers? I
can't even see it because my face is covering it.
It looks like the thing from the Eccleston Ravagers cover.
Give me a second, I'll make you full screen. You're covering it now. No, you're not.
No, I'm pointing at it. This red boy here.
Sure.
I think it looks like the thing off the cover. I've not read this book. I don't even know what it's about.
That was good audio. You pointing at
Yeah, I know. Me just pointing at a thing.
But yeah, like the annual doesn't have Jodi Whittaker on it, which is the first time the annual doesn't have any Doctor on it. It's just like a picture of a TARDIS.
I think that's awful. I think that's absolutely horrible.
But today, the next cover for Doctor Who magazine came out, and it has Jodie on the cover, so...
Yay! Yay, Doctor Who magazine. Still, they should put her on the cover of the annual. Even if she's regenerating, she's the Doctor right now, you know?
Also, the premise of the next Doctor Who magazine is ask Jodi Whittaker anything. But I doubt she'll be answering any questions. Like, are you leaving?
Yeah, it'll be like, what's it like working on the show? How was Bradley Walsh? Do you like being the Doctor?
Yeah, it'll be questions she's answered a million times.
Yeah, it'll be softball questions.
Worth buying. I do subscribe to Doctor Who magazine, but I don't read it. I don't know why I subscribe to it.
I haven't read it in many years. Maybe I'll subscribe to it and see what it's like now. I haven't read it since I was a kid, and they used to give out, did they give trading cards in the magazine? I feel like they used to.
I think you're thinking of Doctor Who Adventures, which came out weekly, and it had, sticker sets and pencil cases.
I did also have Doctor Who magazine. If it was Doctor Who branded, I probably had it at some point.
Yeah. I did too. But yeah.
Do you want to take on the first book that isn't going to be featuring Jodie, and then I'll take the second one, or I can take the first one?
Sure, take the first one.
Cool. So the first book, not featuring Jodie coming out, is a 10th Doctor and Donna story, and our big question going in, we'll read the premise of both these books, and the big question is, are these canon? My constant answer before I even read it, because some behind the scenes info, I don't even know what I'm about to read yet. I haven't read it yet. I always think every spin-off thing for Doctor Who is canon.
Yeah.
Because you can always justify it as it happens between the episodes, because they talk about in some episodes, remember when we went to Flaxablaxablorian? And they went, yes, it was a lovely beach on Flaxablaxaborium. Like they have adventures outside the show, and that's where I think the magazines, books, and audio dramas fits in with the canon-wise. But we'll see. Maybe this is like the Doctor has a jetpack. Don't know why that would break canon for me, but I'm deciding it does.
There are definitely some comics and books that are not canon, like the ones where his name is actually Doctor Who, and he has grandchildren named John and Jillian. Never mentioned again.
You know, it is canon, but it takes place in an alternate universe. It's an alternate universe Doctor. That's how you can justify that. But the first book is called Legends of Camelot. And how are you as when Doctor Who does Robin Hood stuff?
I do not like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either. And they do it surprisingly often.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the Witch Finders episode, the most recent one. Mm-hmm. Any time period set in the 1400s, the 1500s, I'm like, I'm out.
See, I'm usually a big fan of medieval stuff and fantasy stuff and things. So yeah, I don't think Doctor Who's ever really done it right. I don't think it's the best fit for the show. But yeah. Anyway, while investigating a strange energy in Carberry, the 10th Doctor and Donna Noble are pulled into a different dimension, smashing a giant hole into another world in the process. As the magic of the hidden dimension slowly seeps out, the Doctor and Donna find themselves in Camelot, where a young squire, Arthur, comes to their aid. And when the Doctor is mistaken for Merlin, they are swept up in the glamorous and daring legends of the Knights of the Round Table. Just reading that first paragraph, this sounds like a trip. What?
Well, the Doctor actually has already links to Merlin, so I'm going to read this book no matter what. It's because the 7th Doctor in Silver Nemesis with the Cyberman, he mentions that he was Merlin at some point. So this will be interesting to read.
It will be. It's interesting that they're doing a different dimension universe sort of story again. It would be the second time David Tennant's Doctor has fallen into another universe on accident.
This is very much like the Mind Robber. Do you know what the Mind Robber is?
I have no idea what the Mind Robber is. I'm guessing, if I can guess, it's somebody that likes to steal minds.
Not quite. Not what I can remember. But in Patrick Troughton's 4th or 5th season, the Mind Robber is an episode where the TARDIS crew end up outside the realities of time and space, and they meet a man called the Master, not the Master, but a man who calls himself the Master.
Right.
This is before the Master was invented, so
Okay.
they just threw out the name Master to anyone. But he's a guy who creates fiction, and the Doctor winds up meeting fictional characters like Rapunzel and other public domain characters. It's a good watch. It's interesting. It's one of the trippiest episodes of Doctor Who, I would say.
Interesting. I'm trying to remember, in the Capaldi episode where he meets Robin Hood, was that genuinely Robin Hood?
Wasn't it robots?
Oh, yeah, it was like Robots of Sherwood, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
was
remember
he a
that.
robot? I don't remember the episode
Dude.
very well.
I just remember that one shot where it looks like Capaldi is flipping the finger.
I don't
Have
know
you seen it?
No, I don't know what that shot is. No, send that to me. The only thing I remember about that episode is the Doctor has a weird obsession with a spoon. In it.
Yeah.
But it's an early Capaldi episode. It sucks. It's really bad. I think it's one of the worst of that season if Kill the Moon wasn't also on that season. Because I despise Kill the Moon. Terrible episode. While Scott sends me this image of Capaldi flipping off the camera, I'll continue reading the second half of the paragraph. Never mind, he sent it right now. Good audio.
Oh, the GIF.
Oh,
is the
yeah.
GIF
Oh, my
working?
God.
Yeah.
Yes. He absolutely is giving the middle finger. That's 100%. If you're wondering what it is, Capaldi is wearing a black leather glove because I think they're about to duel or something. And this is where he pulls out the spoon, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like stretching the leather glove around his hand, but his finger's moving just a way that his middle finger is the only finger up for just the briefest of moments. And I 100% think that they knew what they were doing when they did that, and just were hoping they could get it past BBC censors, and did.
Yeah, I refuse to believe no one in the editing bay saw that.
Yeah, it's so good. I've just been watching that GIF on repeat now. God damn. The second half of this book paragraph. But something far more menacing has been awakened. Caught in an ancient battle for power, Donna and the Doctor are sucked into a dangerous game. As each move is made and time spins faster, the Doctor must find a way to seal the rift before an unimaginable power is unleashed and the universe is laid to waste. So it's going to be Doctor Who does this a lot, where they have a really fun concept for like episode or book or whatever, and it was the same in Eccleston's audio drama when he came back. They love to turn it into the stakes are the biggest they've ever been. The universe is going to get destroyed, and for me, that doesn't sell me on the stakes.
Yeah, it's the constant battle that Buffy faced when they started doing comic books and they started doing big fantasy kind of stuff, like a character turns into a giant. It doesn't feel natural to the show's budget, and it goes overboard, I think. And when it goes overboard, it doesn't feel like a show anymore, if that makes sense.
Yeah. For me, I think the personal drama and the like, oh no, they're going to destroy this village, or they're going to kill this one person, or they're going to take over the minds of people. I think that that's way more compelling, or they're trying to get the Doctor to do something evil, or they're trying to turn the Doctor. I think that's much more compelling drama than the universe will explode and everyone will die because I'm a big bad guy. I don't think that that's the most compelling thing, and I think it's been overdone in Doctor Who so many times.
But yeah, I think it's still an interesting concept. I like these kind of like crossover kind of things.
Yeah,
the next one is more.
I love
the next one is more interesting for it.
Yeah, but before we get into the first one, I just want to say I absolutely love Doctor and the Donna. and I look forward to seeing more adventures with them, because Donna's one of my favorite companions. I think her and Tennant specifically had such good chemistry together.
I need to listen to the Big Finish audio dramas where it's the Doctor and Donna, and sometimes what's his name? The old man, Wilfred. Wilfred
yes.
is in there as well.
Wonderful, loved him as well.
So yeah, I definitely need to check out those audio dramas, which are on Audible, so I could check those out for my free credits.
That's interesting. Have they been sticking them on Audible? Are they going to put them all on Audible? Because that's way more useful than the Big Finish app.
It's only like a couple of stories. And there's also a load of freebies on Spotify as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a fair amount of freebies they do.
Yeah, there's a playlist on Spotify, and it's mainly like first, second, and third Doctor adventures on Spotify. But there's just so many of them.
Yeah, good stuff.
The second book, yeah.
Yes, the second book is The Wonderful Doctor of Oz, which is The Wizard of Oz.
It's a fantastic title of the book. I'm sold already.
So this one is featuring the 13th Doctor, and on the she's not in the synopsis, but on the cover it's Missy, dressed as the Wicked Witch. So they chose Missy to represent the book rather than the 13th Doctor.
Oh, yeah.
When she's not in the synopsis at all, which is weird.
That is weird, but it's nice seeing Missy and an adventure with Jodi and Missy. Kind of into it.
There's probably nothing to explain here. It's just the plot of Wizard of Oz. That's why I chose to read this one. Yeah, there's nothing to say. When a sudden tornado engulfs the TARDIS, the 13th Doctor and her fam, still hate that word.
Yeah, it's gross.
They find themselves transported to the magical land of Oz, when a damaged TARDIS and an unexpected stowaway from the 1930s, which is probably going to be Dorothy.
Probably.
Their only hope of getting home is to follow the yellow brick road. Shocking. But when an army of scarecrows ambushes them, they quickly realise that everything is not as it should be, and they're thrown into a fight for survival against a mysterious enemy. Missy, I imagine.
Probably.
As each of her companions become a shadow of their former selves, only the Doctor's left standing. So I guess the companions are all going to become the Wizard of Oz characters?
Yeah, but I think actually they're perfect fit to become Wizard of Oz characters, because they are all lacking in something that they need. You know, they don't have any personality, and maybe they'll get that on their adventure.
So cast each of the characters.
I think Graham is the lion.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that what's his name? Oh my God, what's his grandson's name?
Ryan.
I think Ryan's the Tin Man, because he needs a brain, because he's dumb as heck. And Yaz must therefore be the Scarecrow, because she's a policeman officer, but she never remembers that.
Good casting, yeah. Desperate to save her friends, she must embark on a perilous journey to seek help from the mysterious Wizard of Oz and to stop whatever forces are at work before she and her friends are trapped in the fictional world forever.
That book sounds ace.
It does. It's out now.
Oh, is it really?
I'm actually tempted to order it. It's only like £10.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Both of them.
I own too many books. I buy books all the time, and I read books quite a lot.
I don't read anything, so. Oh, I'm sorry. The Legends of Camelot is also £5.
Oh,
so...
that's dangerous.
They are children's books as well. The Legends of Camelot has a nice cover.
Hang on, I'm literally adding that book to my basket right now. I don't know if I'll buy it yet, but it's going to be in my basket so that I can...
Yeah, I'm definitely buying it.
Oh, well, wow. The Legends of Camelot has got an amazing cover. To describe it, It is a medieval armored horse, atop of which is David Tennant brandishing some very lovely armor, sonic screwdriver in hand, and 3D glasses on.
It's really nice artwork. I would probably think about hanging it up. It's very steampunky.
Yeah, it'd be a cool poster. That's fun. That's a cool. Yeah, you can. Both those books are available to buy now for literally like £5.50. So for just over
reading age 9 to 17.
Yeah.
I'm slightly out of that demographic, but I'm still going to read it.
It's not a book aimed for us at all. But, oh man, yeah.
I can buy it as part of a bundle with Alex Kingston's new book about River Song.
Oh.
For £24.
Yeah.
Not bad.
That's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Shall we move on to the next part of the news section?
Heck yeah. This is our last one. So
awesome. Not a lot of news this month, besides the
not
Jodi
really
stuff. But hey, whatever.
The BBC really need to get off their asses and just do something.
Yeah, the new season comes out in like what, 2-3 months?
I don't know when it is. Late 2021, so I'd imagine October, November.
Yeah, but that's not far away, you know. August is 2 months away, and then after that it's another month.
Like
right.
since January with the rumors of Jodie Lehman, they've not said anything.
Yeah.
Like
oh,
they've
God,
not sent.
I'm so worried they're going to cancel the show.
They're renewed up until season 15, so.
Yeah, but that's one other season from now. 2
season 13, 3 seasons including the upcoming one.
So we'll have one last Doctor, and then the show will be gone.
I doubt it.
I really hope not. I love Doctor Who, but
it's still their biggest draw as a company.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's their only show that can sell worldwide.
True. A reboot, perhaps.
A soft reboot, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, the soft reboot whenever they get a new showrunner. A hard reboot. Imagine if they did that. A hard reboot.
I would absolutely hate it.
Yeah. Or a new Doctor Who movie. I'd love a new Doctor Who movie.
Like in cinemas, or
yeah, like a proper canon with the cast Doctor Who movie.
Yeah, it could be good.
I think it would be great. Bring Moffat back to write it.
No, thank you.
But our next bit of news is Big Finish, the Big Finish big box of big stories that Big Finish after like 60-70 minutes. I don't know what that means. What?
I was half asleep when I wrote this. But they finish after 60 to 70 minutes.
Ah.
Get it?
Yes.
Big Finish?
Yes. The Big Finish big box of big stories that Big Finish after 60 to 70 minutes. Right. But we have some photos of the new Christopher Eccleston box set, which we shall describe to you in delicious audio detail. And unsurprisingly, they are gorgeous. Oh.
I don't like the first one aside from the color scheme.
I really like the color scheme in the first one. Whoever is designing these box covers, they're not getting paid enough because they're doing such a good job.
And they've got such limited photos of Christopher Eccleston as the Doctor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, we've only got like one season to pick from.
Yeah, just promo pictures from season 1. Like. Oh, so good. Oh, look. Okay, so the first one, it's a relatively bland looking. It's got some really lovely blue, red, and green mist stuff going around, but it's just a lovely image of Christopher Eccleston's big old face, and then an actor called Lisa McMullen, who I don't think I'm familiar with.
No, the story is written by Lisa McMullen. That's either
yes. Is it Pearl Appleby perhaps, or Mirren? I don't know.
I don't know. Or Christopher Eccleston. The girl is Christopher Eccleston.
Yes.
That's my answer.
Yes. I don't recognize her though. But it's respond to all calls girl deconstructed, which is...
She's probably the girl being deconstructed, right?
Yeah. Or is it perhaps going to be 80 minutes of critical gender study thinking from Doctor Who?
That'd be good.
And yeah, I think if there's anyone better to describe that sort of subject would be a white 40-something-year-old man. So,
I'm just looking at the colour scheme, just the splashes of red and blue, green, just, it looks really good.
Yeah, it's very sleek looking. It doesn't give away a lot onto what the plot's going to be about.
Also, it's a weird looking TARDIS.
I was about to say, the TARDIS looks a bit weird. It's got green windows.
I think it's like a 4-wave reflection?
Maybe?
I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, the TARDIS does look a bit weird there. The next one is Fright Motif by Tim Foley. This one looks much more like a classic Doctor Who sort of adventure. You've got the Eiffel Tower, some lightning around the TARDIS, a man in a hat, all your classic Doctor Who stuff. But there's this really nice red, evil-looking mist stuff coloring out, and it looks very much like it's going to be set in the 1940s.
Yeah.
Which, a 1940s set Paris noir Doctor Who adventure, that could be fun.
Yeah, I like how just white in the left represent good, and red and black on the right probably evil. They're probably the villains, right?
It's your Star Wars version of color scheming, good and bad. It's all you need.
The last cover is my favorite.
I have a lot to talk about in this one. The last cover, Planet of the End by Timothy X Attack, which I don't know if I'm pronouncing that last name right. I hope I am, because if I am, coolest name ever. This one, the background, before I get into what's in the foreground, the background of it is a bit generic, It's like space with space colors and planets and stuff.
There's like a fiery explosion as well.
Yeah, it's the foreground stuff where things get interesting.
What is that on the right?
That's the bunny rabbit.
No, in the background, it looks kind of like a pyramid.
Like a pyramid of gold or something. I don't know. You'll have to listen to the episode and find out.
But it also has like a TARDIS lighted at the very top. Kind of. It's weird.
It does. Hang on. Give me a second. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's got this weird golden pyramid thing. In front of the golden pyramid is a bunny rabbit, as discussed. The less said about that, the better. On the far left, there's a robot going for a jog. And then in the middle, there's a Morden Solus just sitting in a chair. Do you know who Morden Solus is?
I actually don't. What is it from?
It's in the video game Mass Effect. He's one of your alien companions, and he looks exactly like that. Okay,
I see. Yeah, okay. except this one's a bit more of a peach color.
Yeah.
On the cover, it's more bluey, but it's a good comparison.
Yeah, he looks like that. He also kind of looks like the Silence if you gave the Silence a mouth and some eyes.
Kind of, yeah. It's kind of like the wrinkly nose kind of area.
Mm-hmm. But he's wearing a lovely suit, which is, I think, a very fun, very British sci-fi thing, is to have the alien in like modern regular businessman clothing. It's very Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
It looks like it's gonna be fun. I don't know what the bunny is. It's just looking at these covers, just wondering how everything relates.
Yeah.
It's definitely the most extreme out of the three, I would say.
Yeah, it's the one just from looking at the album cover I'm the most excited for.
I can't wait to see that on my vinyl. I still haven't got the last box set on vinyl yet.
Really? It's not arrived yet?
No, I think it's because with COVID, vinyls are becoming less produced, and I guess I don't know. I would hope it comes soon.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to listen to the last box set before the new one comes out in August.
You know, I've never listened to anything on vinyl before.
Come over to my house, man. Even before you're like...
I'm on the other side of the country. Yeah, I've never listened to anything on vinyl. My mum had a record player when I was a kid, and she had a bunch of vinyls that she used to listen to when she was a teenager. She never really played them, though, and eventually she just sold them off. So it's never been something I've listened to. It's so expensive as well, so...
I've been collecting them since around Christmas, and I've got 11, which is pretty good. It's like really good. I like it. It's a good collection to have.
Yeah,
There's a vinyl shop just in town. It's run by a really nice guy, and it's a good shop.
I've walked by the vinyl shop a lot of times where you are. Never gone in it because obviously I've never had a need to. I adopted streaming in like 2011, and I've been streaming since then. So like
That's fair.
I very much just adopted streaming. I went, this is easy for me. It's less clunky than carrying around a CD. And
I'm definitely getting into just collecting physical media now with like DVDs and Blu-rays. Well, not quite DVDs and Blu-rays, but just I like collecting physical things.
See, I'm the opposite from you. I very much like just having most things digital because it takes up the least amount of space. But the one thing I like collecting is DVDs and Blu-rays. I buy a lot of, because Blu-rays you can get kind of cheap now. And so I grab, if I can't find something on like a Netflix or Amazon, or if it's not available on a streaming service, I will just buy the Blu-ray. I'll use that as an excuse to get the Blu-ray. So I've been growing my collection of Blu-rays quite recently. It's gone from like I don't have any Blu-rays to now I have like 12, 13 Blu-rays.
My least favorite thing about Blu-rays now is that special features are just dropping. Like before you'd get Blu-rays with like audio commentaries and behind the scenes footage, and now it's just like, oh, look at this trailer that's been on YouTube for years.
Yeah, I have some Blu-rays, like the Karate Kid. I bought the new collection Blu-ray with the trilogy on it.
Yeah.
No special features. Like the most special features it has is some interviews that were recorded back when they released a special edition of the DVD in like 2003. Like there's no new content on it. However, I have the Neil Blomkamp Blu-ray collection, Blomkamp MP3 or Blomkamp MP3. It's called. It's a really weird name. I have that Blu-ray collection, which is District 9, Elysium, and Chappie. And there's so much content on those. There's documentaries, there's behind the scenes, there's like, what you call them, storyboard stuff. There's so much content. I've not even really dove into much of it because it's so long to get into.
I would say the best sets to get for, in terms of bonus features, is the Doctor Who sets for classic Doctor Who. Like, they have audio commentaries, they have archive footage of behind the scenes. Like, the one for Resurrection of the Daleks of the writer and director just walking around the opening location in London. It's just them reminiscing about shooting on the day. It's just really lovely footage to watch.
That's fantastic. The best, however, DVD special edition you can get is Armageddon. The special edition of Armageddon. And listen to the commentary track, because it's genuinely phenomenal. What's his name? Batman's
Ben
friend.
Affleck.
No,
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Yeah.
I think it's Matt Damon.
I'm pretty sure it's Ben Affleck.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to look it up. They're the same person, really. It could be Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck sounds more right. Yeah, it's Ben Affleck. So
I haven't even seen the movie.
I've only seen the movie with the commentary on, for one very specific reason.
Yes, I know what you mean.
In the commentary, you have director
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay. You've Michael Bay and a producer talking about the movie, and they're trying to get kind of deep into Armageddon, and talking about like how it's metaphorical and this is a nice shot, and then it'll cut, and it's clearly like recorded in Ben Affleck's home by himself, and he's steaming drunk, and he's just ripping into the movie, making fun of it all the time. I think the most famous bit from it is he went up to Michael Bay and he asked, wouldn't it be easier to train astronauts to be miners rather than to train miners to be astronauts? To which Michael Bay responded, shut the fuck up. It's genuinely phenomenal commentary, and I highly recommend everybody to go and buy the special edition of Armageddon just to listen to it. It's so good.
He does make a valid point, though.
Yeah, he does. The next bit of news. Hang on, I got a pop up. There we go. Next bit of news is Susan, the Doctor's granddaughter, is getting a spin-off on Big Finish called After the Daleks. So it's going to be picking up, I'm guessing, where the Doctor left her.
Yeah.
Is the lady that played Susan still alive?
Yeah, she's reprising her role. I think she's like, she's in her 80s now.
Yeah, she's quite old.
Carol Ann Ford. She's 81, so yeah.
That's good.
They might as well get this out while she's still alive, you know?
Yeah, and it'll be nice to see what happened to Susan, you know? I really want them to bring her back on the show, though. I think that would be so nice, is for the Doctor to reunite with Susan, but she's an old lady now.
They do have audio dramas where the Eighth Doctor visits her in An Earthly Child, which I just bought on sale the other day. And there's also a story later in her life where she enters the Time War.
Ooh, interesting. But
which I also have.
They should bring it onto the television.
I don't think as many people would be interested in seeing the Doctor's screaming grandchild.
She's not going to be screaming at 81. I hope not, at least. God, imagine.
Well, this is directly after the Doctor abandons her because she kind of fell in love with a man she just met.
She flirted a little bit with the man she met, and the Doctor went, well, bye.
She's also like a teenager. It's like her first crush, and the Doctor just abandons her.
Yeah.
It does.
The only the one thing about that scene is it is probably the defining moment for the first Doctor. Like, that speech she gives is phenomenal.
It's an iconic speech.
I think it's his first iconic speech.
No, I would say the Aztecs when he's telling Barbara not to interfere with the history.
Yeah, that one's fine. Just the one that he gave to Susan really got to me.
Like him yelling at Barbara not to interfere with history is like the point of the show, basically, and it's the first time it was introduced in the show.
Yeah, it's the Aztec storyline's a really fun storyline. I think it goes on a bit too long.
What is it? 6 episodes?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's a pretty fun story. There's a lot of good storylines in that first season of Doctor Who, actually.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid first season.
Yeah.
I really like the Keys of Marinus, where each one's a different story.
Yeah.
That was a really fun one.
Yeah. I don't remember the name of any other ones at the moment, but yeah, season 1 of classic Doctor Who is actually a season of Doctor Who I've seen, so I can talk about it. I'm only I think halfway through season 2 of classic Who at the moment.
And you started watching it a while ago.
I haven't watched any episodes in quite some time. Yeah, it's fun. Classic Who is nice. It's a fun show to relax to, I think. Yeah. You know, it's like putting on like a classic episode of Star Trek for me or something like that. It's just something where you're like, if you're just kind of feeling like not really watching anything, you just want to chill out, stick that on, get some soup, snuggle up.
Like my exposure to Classic Who was watching it on Saturday mornings on UK TV Gold. They would just air a whole story with no interruptions, and it was really solid. It was good to wake up to.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time to wake up to. I never really caught much Classic Who on TV. For me, like I would occasionally find an episode. I'd be like, oh, cool, Classic Who's on. And then I'd maybe watch it, but I'd never followed the schedule. You know, like we got rid of Sky 2010, 2009, and then we were Netflix. We got Netflix really, really early on, and that's all I've only ever streamed stuff since then, because it was the cheapest option, and we grew up pretty poor. So, like that I never got really exposed to Classic Who that much, and the BBC never air it.
Yeah, I got Sky in 2006, which was right around where my peak interest in the show just started to kick off. So I would discover classic Doctor Who, and I would just watch it every chance I got.
Yeah, my big exposure to it was reading about it in like Doctor Who magazine. Whenever they'd bring back like a classic villain or something like that, you know.
Yeah, the BBC would only air classic Doctor Who like once every 5 years. It's a shame, because it'd be really nice material for like BBC4 on a Saturday night. You could just start off with Doctor Who.
Yeah, it would be. But you know, that's why BritBox, if they want to sponsor us, they can, because I'll happily shill for BritBox. I think it's a phenomenal streaming service. When they first announced BritBox, I was really unsure about it. Mainly because of the BBC's involvement, because I think the BBC's kind of a gross backwards company. I like the products they produce, but I think the people on the top of it are scumbags. But the ITV apparently takes most of the money, because the BBC have the fucking TV license, so it's a publicly funded thing, whereas ITV's not. But so ITV get most of the money from the subscription, and I think just as a like an archive of classic British TV and films, and there's some modern stuff on there as well, I think it's absolutely brilliant. Because the one issue with, like, say, BBC iPlayer, stuff only stays on there for a year. Whereas it can be on BritBox forever, and it's so good.
Have we really been recording for almost an hour?
Yeah, it's flown by. I'm surprised we talked this much out of, like, 3 news stories.
But anyway, next up is...
the July box sets.
Yeah.
And which one would we listen to the most?
Yeah, which one would... Well, we've got Lady Christina. Do you remember her?
I don't. Lady Christina Season 2, apparently. Or is she from Season 2? Is that what you're saying here? Remember the Jewel Thief from David Tennant's Easter special? God, I don't.
She's a lady from EastEnders, I believe. And she's like a jewel thief.
Ah, yes, I do. I remember her face. She has brown hair. Brown hair and a fringe. That's how I can describe her.
But yeah, just an example of Big Finish taking a minor character no one remembers and building a box set out of her.
Who was the comedian that's in that Easter special?
It was Lee
Evans.
Yeah, Lee Evans. Did
he die in that episode?
I don't remember. I did not like that one.
They should bring him back. I think Lee Evans. Just a side note, I really liked Lee Evans' comedy when I watched it. I don't know if it's held up at all, but I think on stage he was one of the most energetic performers I've ever seen. Dripping in sweat.
Yeah, whenever there's like a repeat of him on Comedy Central, he's just always sweaty, no matter what.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, he doesn't perform anymore. He's retired. Oh.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah, he's retired from comedy.
Damn.
Fair enough.
But also the cover of this box set has the bus, just in case you know the bus that winds up in the desert.
Yeah, the bus in the desert.
It's a very weird cover for a box set. It's like butterflies and helicopters and old lady, and there's a jewel and there's a boat.
You know, it might be controversial. It is a really weird. There's a lot going on in that cover.
It looks like a mystery crime novel, which
it might be
is interesting.
It might be controversial. Don't hate that Easter episode. I think it's pretty fun. Hold
on, I'm just going to read the descriptions onto myself anyway. it doesn't sound like it's a sci-fi
No?
thing, mostly. It sounds like a crime mystery. There's nothing about aliens.
That's interesting. The cover definitely reads kind of sci-fi. Because it's got this, like, kaleidoscope sort of style going on around it. But
Yeah, just...
yeah, perhaps
Yeah.
it's a grounded Doctor Who story, and it's literally just hijinks.
It sounds like a Agatha Christie type audio drama, which is an interesting detour.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. A globe hopping mystery series could be pretty fun for Doctor Who.
talk about a different kind of spin-off.
Yeah. You know, I think if Doctor Who was funded the way I'd want it to be funded, all these big Finnish spin-offs would be TV shows.
Yeah. But then you'd be... If I'd be like $1 billion every year.
Yeah, it would be so expensive. It'd be high.
And plus you'd wind up with an 80-year-old Tom Baker just trying to walk.
Yeah, it doesn't fit the canon at all. With audio, you can hide it in the voice at least. Like, the second one coming out in July is Dalek Universe Volume 2. Doctor without his TARDIS basically has to team up with people to stop Daleks, who I think have taken over the whole universe or something.
As you can tell, these are my descriptions.
Very, very concise. The cover art for this is very nice. I recognize that man.
Do you?
The
Joe Sims.
yes, he's from, believe it or not, what's it called? Broadchurch.
You're just in darkness.
He's from Broadchurch.
Is he?
Yeah.
I recognize the guy from Middle. He's also in Broadchurch.
Yeah,
Wow.
David Tennant. He gets around that David Tennant, doesn't he?
But yeah, this is hard to believe, but it's David Tennant's longest series since 2008. It's a 9-part story told across 3 box sets. The next box set has Terry Malloy returning as Davros, which I need to get.
That sounds really fun. One thing I really like about this cover is that those are the Daleks that were in the episode we just watched, Resurrection of the Daleks, which the first part comes out next week.
It's a very classic Who inspired. They even got 80s guns.
Mm-hmm.
It's Flash. It's kind of like Flash Gordon in a way.
Yeah, it's a really nice looking poster. It's very David Tennant looks really nice in it as well. It's so good.
Big Finish are really doing really nice with covers.
Yeah, whoever makes the cover art is going above and beyond.
Every story we've talked about today, I would buy based on the cover alone.
Yeah, if I just saw the cover in a shop, I'd be like, ooh.
Yeah.
The third one is Torchwood. Madam, I'm Adam from Torchwood. What? Madam, I'm Adam from Torchwood is in the 50s. Great character will explain, LOL. Well, Scott, explain it to me, Scott.
The story is just called Madam I'm.
Ah.
I should have underlined that.
Right.
Hold on, I'll underline it. There we go. But anyway, Adam is kind of like a Total Recall kind of character. He's an alien who implants himself into people's memories, kind of like Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Right. Mr. Poopy Butthole didn't implant himself. He was always a member of the Smith family.
He's still alive, isn't he? Yeah,
yes, he is.
He's lived. Yeah.
He became a college professor, but then got fired when Rick made him beat up all his students with karate so that they could go on a heist.
But yeah, it was actually a really good episode of Torchwood he was in. The episode of Torchwood he was in was called Adam. Creative name, I know.
Yeah, it sounds sounds like a fun alien.
He basically implants himself into people's memories. It's an interesting concept, but this time it's him in the 50s, I guess.
Yeah, we were just talking about how nice the album cover is. This one's a bit boring.
Yeah, it's just 3 people
in suits.
Orange.
Yeah, 3 people in suits with the color orange.
Not great, but still, I'll eventually buy it when I have money.
Yeah, when we get that big Finnish sponsorship money. The big Finnish sponsorship money, and also the BritBox sponsorship money. I'm waiting on your email, BBC. Do you want to take this last one?
Hell yeah. The last one is just Doctor Who's Scourge of a Cyberman, which is a third Doctor audiobook. It's 6 hours long, which is, pretty much average runtime for an audiobook. And it's got the third Doctor and Sarah Jane as they battle Cybermen. So the third Doctor never actually battled Cybermen in his run, which is a shame. So it'll be good to see that rectified.
Yeah. The third Doctor, if I remember correctly, most of his or all of his stories were set on Earth, weren't they?
Yes, for the first 2.5 seasons, because of budget reasons. Like, the move to make the show into colour cost them so much money, they just had to make the show in one setting, and the Doctor lost his access to the TARDIS for 2.5 seasons.
Because of the Time Lords, wasn't it?
Yes, the Time Lords removed that part of his memory.
Interesting. I'm sure we'll cover some Third Doctor. I've never seen any Third
We're going to
Doctor
cover
stories.
the Third Doctor in July.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to it.
With the demons.
Yeah. But that does us. That does us for the news.
Which one of these four would you?
I think the one that stands out to me the most there is the one you've highlighted, Dalek Universe Volume 2. Solely because of that album art, basically sold me. I would have to go back and listen to Volume 1 of Dalek Universe so that I understand the plotline and whatever.
Yeah.
But it looks and sounds the nicest. The second pick I would go for is probably actually Scourge of the Cybermen, just because it sounds fun. And if I was to rank them, then I would do the Torchwood one because the alien sounds fun. Wasn't sold on the album cover, but the way you described Adam is pretty fun. And then Lady Christina would be my last pick. But even then, it's still pretty high up because it sounds fun, sounds interesting. What about you?
Yeah, I would rank them exactly the same way, just to be boring. But yeah, Dalek Universe is like a nice throwback to the 60s and 70s Doctor Who, which with the 10th Doctor, which is fun. The Scourge of a Cyberman has my favourite Doctor, which is always a plus for me. The third Doctor is the best, in my opinion.
Wow.
Yes, and then Torchwood with Adam is... I need to listen to Torchwood Series 5. I got it over Christmas, but I've still not listened to it.
Who has
and
the
then
time?
No one. And then Lady Christina is probably last, but I am kind of intrigued. It's a big departure for Doctor Who.
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
Like,
but yeah, that does
nothing sci-fi about it.
That does it for the news section. We're going to move on to talking about our own lives and what we're watching for, 10-15 minutes to end the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what you been watching, Scott?
The new Rick and Morty was great.
Yeah,
it just came out.
It aired yesterday for the US.
Yep.
2 days ago for the
2
States.
days ago in America, but yesterday for us.
And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was solid. Which is really nice because the last season of Rick and Morty I thought was a bit iffy.
So did I. Yeah, the episodes were okay, but I felt like they were kind of going a bit too meta. I don't know. It's hard to explain. We're kind of going too meta instead of going for the jokes.
Yeah, they were going really hard against the storylines they themselves had set up.
Yeah.
And I like the payoff with what was it? With the bird person, Phoenix person. I think he got turned into. Like I thought that whole payoff was kind of disappointing. And with Beth being a clone.
I actually don't remember Phoenix person coming back. That's how little I remember the last season.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit disappointing and a bit rushed. but it still had some emotional resonance, because I think that's where Rick and Morty shines, is when it gets really dumb and stupid and sci-fi, and then it just hits you in your heart, you know?
My favorite episode is the toxic episode where they go to a spa and there's like toxic versions of themselves that battle against the cleaned up versions of themselves, and it's a whole metaphor for the characters and who they are.
Yeah, that's a really good episode. Weirdly has a pedophile lady in it.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, Morty ends up like becoming a successful businessman, and
Right.
he gets like he hooks up with this like 20-something-year-old lady who's in the apartment with her, and he's like when he gets back his like memory, he's like, I'm actually like a 15-year-old kid, and she's like, yeah, I know, you were very upfront about everything. And like,
Well, he did get raped by a jelly bean that one time.
yeah, he got attempted raped. It was still it was still rough, but yeah.
But yeah, the new episode is great. It's basically like a piss take against the Submariner from the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I really liked it. Oh god, it just felt like a good Rick and Morty episode, you know?
The subplot with the wine.
Oh my, yeah, as soon as the like father walked through the portal with Morty the first time, it like clicked in my head. I went, oh god, I know what they're gonna do. Because it's a Narnia situation where time moves faster through the portal in whatever world or universe they're in there. And so they're walking back and forth, and every time Morty goes in to try and get a bottle of wine, they've advanced further in, and it's fantastic.
It's also like the girl in the fireplace from Doctor Who.
Yeah, it is. I also liked how they actually gave Jessica a character.
Yeah, that ending where she basically becomes Dr. Manhattan is...
It's so good. It's such a good episode of Rick and Morty, and I'm really looking forward to this season now. I don't know how many episodes it is. I think 12? Probably.
10.
10.
It's always 10.
The good thing about Rick and Morty is it's been renewed up until like the end of time at this point. So...
Yeah. Yeah, they've renewed it for like 70 episodes like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But as long as it stays in this quality, I'm fine. Like even last season, which wasn't as good, it's still very good.
Yeah, it's still very good. It's such a good show.
Like the animation alone is probably the best animated show on television right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's really fluid and just the action.
I loved Morty in this episode. He's so funny. Like, he's just
yeah.
not having it. He's like,
I love how the characters are developing. Because at the beginning he was always the whiny one, but now...
Rick, yeah. And now he's like, oh, god damn it, I'm just gonna... Fuck it, I'll do it. I'll deal with these guys. Like...
Yeah, that's what keeps the show fresh. It's new... Is it the same characters? And it's believable we're the same characters, but it's new dynamics.
Yeah, it's... You know, I have a giant Rick and Morty poster right there. But, you know, it's like every animated show where most of the time it resets at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
But the events that happened still have happened, and the characters slowly change over time. They don't forget about things that happened in the past, and like say like The Simpsons or Family Guy or something.
Like even Beth and Jerry in this episode, they're totally different from what they used to be. Like we used to be arguing all the time.
Yeah.
But now we're actually on the same page trying to have sex with the fishman.
And did you see the post credits?
Yes, of course I did.
They successfully had sex with the fishman.
I do like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
It makes... Like, Jerry's becoming less pathetic, and I like that, because for a while... I liked the jokes when, like, with the Jerry daycare.
Yeah, the Jerry Daycare thing. One of my favorite episodes, the Whirly Durly, where it's Rick and Jerry, and they go to an amusement park where everyone's immortal.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I thought that episode's fantastic. The animation in that one as well, so good.
They do a lot of really good concept stuff.
Yeah. Goddamn Dan Harmon and his good writing.
And Justin Roiland with his great performances.
Yeah.
What have you been watching?
Well, Rick and Morty, as we said. What else? I've been watching a lot of TV shows recently. I don't know what it is. I finished Broadchurch, I've now successfully seen all 3 seasons of Broadchurch. I think the 3rd season's probably the weakest season, but it was still very good.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I moved on and I watched Des, the David Tennant playing a serial killer show, because I was just kind of on a David Tennant kick.
It's a good kick to be on.
Yeah, and it was very good. It was only 3 episodes, which was easy to watch.
Yeah.
And it was about a serial killer man who I hadn't heard of before. He's a bit of a creep, really, but
I've been meaning to watch that. It looks really good.
It's available on BritBox. I do recommend that. And then what else was I watching? I just started watching Atlanta,
right,
which is Childish Gambino, his TV show.
What do you think of it?
I think I'm like 3 episodes in at the moment. I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it.
I watched 3 episodes. It did not grab me. I guess it's because of culture differences, and I don't quite. I'm not quite in the rhythm of what the show is. If that makes sense.
I think it's more I'm invested in Donald Glover, like immediately, because I know who he is. And so I feel invested in his character, and I'm invested in Paperboy as well. I don't know, I bought into the characters really, really easily and quickly. I think some of the dramas playing out was pretty good. But yeah, I don't think you could get... you could get quite different culture, but for us specifically, we're 2 white guys in Scotland. It's not really a show aimed at us.
Yeah.
But no, I'm enjoying it, and I'm hoping it'll hook me enough that I can finish it, because it takes a lot for a show to hook me properly that I'll sit and watch all the episodes.
What are we on, like season 2 or 3 right now?
They're finished season 2, season 3's coming next year. Apparently, I think COVID might slow it down.
I looked it up, just found a state. Need to type in TV show.
They need to up their SEO. They need to become more famous than the state of Atlanta.
Yeah, only 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not big into Donald Glover.
Donald Grover, the Muppet.
Like, I liked him in Community. I'm not a big fan of his songs. Sorry.
Wow. See, I love Donald Glover in Community. I love Community in general. I was a really big fan of him in Star Wars when he was playing Lando.
Yes, he was really good as Lando.
Yeah, I thought he was great.
The best part of that movie.
Hey, it's not a bad movie.
It's after the Rise of Skywalker, it's watchable. I don't remember a single thing about it though. Solo is the only one out of the new ones I didn't see in cinemas.
Like I think most people. And I ended up watching it on DVD like a year or 2 after it came out, and I was so surprised at how much I enjoyed it. Like, I thought it was so good.
They released that movie 6 months after The Last Jedi, the most divisive movie of all time.
Yeah, it was terrible timing for it. They absolutely killed it. But
yeah, we should have waited until December. Like, there's no reason not to do that.
They were trying to do a Marvel with it, But Star Wars is not the same as Marvel. It's very different.
And then we also had to reshoot the entire movie because we kicked Chris Lloyd and Miller. What are their names?
God,
Miller and Lloyd.
Lego movie directors.
I just said Chris Lloyd. That's the guy from Back to the Future.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
That was close.
They fired Chris Lord. Oh my God. They fired Phil Lord and Chris Miller because they were doing too much comedy and improv, and
I think they shot like 70% of the movie or something like that.
Yeah, and the big question that I think everybody had at the time was, why did you hire the comedy improv guys if you didn't want them to do comedy improv stuff?
See, I think at that point, Kathleen Kennedy was okay with having people do their own thing with Star Wars, but then the early reception for The Last Jedi came out, and she began to start worrying.
Yeah,
And
that
then,
could be it. Is that the
and
Last
then she
Jedi
wanted,
was- yeah.
yeah, and then she wanted all the Star Wars movies to have her, like a cookie cutter formula. Like the Rise of Skywalker is like the biggest piece
Shit.
of fan fiction I've ever seen.
Shit.
It really is. Like all of a sudden, Palpatine is alive.
Palpatine,
Okay.
somehow Palpatine's returned.
Like they don't even make reference to it in the trilogy. There's no plan lead up for that.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. I could see that being the reason why they fired Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and why
Like on
they hired
like with
JJ, and why they hired JJ back.
with the Mandalorian, she's more set and letting with John Favreau and what's the guy's name?
Dave Filoni, the chosen one.
Yes, I love him. But yeah, she's more set and letting them do their own thing. I guess because that's Disney Plus and they're not making money off of Star Wars alone. They're making money off of people's subscriptions, so there's less worry about having to make money at the box office. If that makes sense.
And also the gamble paid off because The Mandalorian is like one of the best TV shows.
It really is. It's good stuff.
And I think that's probably given them more confidence and why they're doing now like just nothing but Star Wars TV shows. Like
Yeah.
there's so many of them coming now.
Boba Fett is coming at the end of the year.
Yeah, and Ahsoka and so many.
I'm surprisingly okay with them returning to Boba Fett because it works in The Mandalorian.
He was so good in The Mandalorian. I was so happy that they got the guy that played Django to come back. Because, you know, I'm a big fan of the prequels, so whenever they call back to the prequels, I fucking love it. It was so good.
It's a bit of a far stretch, but he's alive. Like, the last 40 years being plagued with, oh, is he alive? He's probably alive. I want him to be alive.
If Palpatine can survive the Death Star exploding, fucking, because he transformed his consciousness into a clone or whatever, I'm sure Boba Fett can climb out of the goddamn Rachnor. Not Rachnor, oh my god. The pit, what's it called?
the Sarlacc pit.
Sarlacc pit, yes.
Yes. But also, Palpatine is a Jedi, so there's less plausibility in him surviving.
Palpatine's a Sith Lord, you nerd.
You know what I mean. Then he's technically more powerful than a Jedi, so it makes more sense for him to be alive.
Hey man, I'm just glad Boba's back. I think we'll wrap it up soon because we're coming up to hour 20. But my question I have for you here: what did you think about The Last Jedi?
I did not like it to begin with, but then I saw it again in the lead up to watching The Rise of Skywalker, and I liked it a lot better. Apart from that subplot with Finn and Rose.
I think it's the best sequel.
Yeah.
I think it's phenomenal. I think that everything that people don't like about it is basically what I loved about it. Because Star Wars is formulaic, you know? Star Wars has patterns and rhythms and you know the beats. And then The Last Jedi came in and threw it all out the window. The movie is one chase, you know? It's not big and intergalactic and all these things are happening. It's one chase. It's very character driven and it's, you know, it's got these twists and turns, and Luke Skywalker is not who you expected him to be. Instead, he's like this weird hermit man who doesn't want to do anything but drink blue milk fresh from the teat. You know, I think The Last Jedi experimented and tried stuff, and I really, really appreciated that and found it so refreshing. And then I went in to watch The Rise of Skywalker, and somehow my disappointment returned.
I'd say The Last Jedi is probably my third favorite Star Wars movie. Like, just Empire is number 1, A New Hope is number 2, Last Jedi is number 3.
Yeah, I think, you know, 3 is probably for me as well. Number 1 is Revenge of the Sith for me.
No.
It's genuinely, I fucking love that film.
I need to watch it again. I haven't seen it since 2015, I think I need to give it a rewatch.
I can recite like every scene off the top of my head. I genuinely have seen that film so many times.
So can Sean.
Yeah, I've had many conversations with him where we were just quoting Revenge of the Sith.
Like, remember when we were in Edinburgh and there was a Star Wars shop?
Yeah.
I believe we were playing episode 3 on the television there, and he just stood there reciting the lines as they were happening.
Amazing. Yeah, no, I love Revenge of the Sith's my number one. I think then maybe Empire. Because I do enjoy Empire. It's a classic for a reason. And then yeah, Last Jedi I could see fitting in there.
Yeah.
Maybe Rogue One, because I do enjoy Rogue One.
Rogue One was pretty good as well. I liked how all the special effects looked like models. That's a really nice touch I like.
Yeah. Rogue One's. I didn't like Rogue One when I first saw it in cinemas. It took me a while to come around to it, but
yeah.
I really enjoy Rogue One now. Star Wars. So good, yet so terrible.
Just like Doctor Who.
Yeah. A lot of sci-fi has that. Star Trek's the same. Star Trek's a lot of good, but then some horrific episodes. I know I said we're wrapping up soon, but screw it, I'll keep talking. Did you ever watch Stargate?
I've only seen the movie and the pilot episodes. So no.
Wow, missing out.
It's been on my watch. It's been on my watch list forever, but it's like 10 seasons, and it's like it's always intimidating to get into a TV show with 10 seasons.
Not just 10 seasons. There's 2 other spin-off shows. Yeah.
And like a couple of movies to wrap things up.
Yeah, and there's rumors that they're making a new show. Because there's a new Stargate video game coming out. There's rumors they're going to tie it into the new show that's going to be coming. But yeah, I used to love the movie for Stargate's all right. It lays a good foundation for the Stargate SG one.
I think the movie is why I keep on getting stuck, because I've watched that movie like 3 or 4 times in the attempt to watch the TV show, and I'm like, this movie is okay, then I just never get to the TV show, if that makes sense.
You can watch the TV show without the movie. SG-1's a classic, it's like the Next Generation sort of style, where it's like classic 90s sci-fi. It's solid, it's really good, there's good characters, sometimes it's a bit slow, whatever. Then there's Stargate Universe, which is mostly bad. It's like Star Trek Voyager, where it's mostly bad. There's good stuff in it every now and then. The guy that played Rumpelstiltskin in Once Upon a Time is the main character.
I was just going to ask if he was in that, yes.
I think he's a phenomenal actor.
And the only reason I watched Once Upon a Time for like 4 seasons was because of him.
He carried that show. He carried that show.
Like, I stopped watching when we added the characters from Frozen.
What a weird show that is.
Yeah, it really was.
He's the main guy in Stargate Universe. And then my favorite Stargate show, Stargate Atlantis. Genuinely, you just watch that one and you don't need to watch the other one. Stargate Atlantis is so good.
Yeah, I need to watch them.
Yeah, it's good sci-fi, and it's sci-fi that I think's even more obscure than like Star Trek or classic Doctor Who and things like no one talks about Stargate anymore.
Yeah.
And it's so good. But shall we draw the episode to a close, since we're coming up close to 90 minutes?
Hell yes. This is definitely longer than our last one.
Yeah, we talked about a lot this time. So, what's coming next week, Scott?
Next week is part 1 of Resurrection of the Daleks, followed by part 2, because that's how things work, you see?
A little behind the scenes. We recorded Resurrection of the Daleks, not expecting it to be a 2-parter, but oh boy, there's a lot to talk about, so look forward to it. I
think we're definitely setting the precedent of all classic Doctor Who episodes to be 2-parters, because
there's so much. Yeah.
Like, we don't even like the episode that much, and we just have so much to talk about. Like, every scene is something either dumb or stupid. or good. Or good.
Someone dies in every scene. Yeah, look forward to that. This has been Who Watches Who, a Doctor Who podcast. You can find us on YouTube at Who Watches Who, on Facebook at Who Watches Who, on Twitter at Watches Who, or at Who Watches. I'll check. I think it's at Watches Who. That sounds right.
I don't remember.
I was doing so well.
I'm the one who made it, and I don't remember.
I was doing so well at rattling off the social medias. You can find us on Twitter at Watches Doctor. I was so wrong. I was so ungodly wrong. You can find us on Twitter at Watches Doctor. You can find me on Twitter at Cloth223. A thing that we didn't even talk about is if you can find me on Twitch. I've started streaming video games whenever I feel bored at twitch.tv/something-something-orange.
Yeah, I just followed you every day.
Yeah, I'm up to, I think, like 6 or 7 followers now. It's a good time. It's chill. It's a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to see you live. When are you next live?
I don't know. Sometime this week, probably. I'm very busy at the moment. I'm ramping up for production. For mess stuff. We start filming our big series next week. We actually start production on it. It's been like 2 years in the making, so we're
good luck. Can't
real
wait.
busy at the moment. You can find the comedy stuff I work on youtube.com/messyoutube. I think that's all the plugs I have to plug. Have you got any? Oh, you got stuff?
Your last video was amazing.
The movie.
What was it called? Yes, it was amazing.
Thank you. The movie was a fucking nightmare to make, because I wrote the movie in like a week or 2 weeks, just because I was bored as fuck, and I was like, I want to do like something over lockdown, because it was like December, so it was the peak of the second lockdown, and it was just me and Ewan in a flat for ages with nothing to do. I was like, screw it, I'll just make a movie where it's just me and him. And so in that film, we're the cast, we're the camera, we're the sound. I'm directing, Ewan's editing. We did literally every job possible on a film set in that, and it was fucking exhausting as hell.
I'm not saying this as your friend, but the production came out really, really nicely.
Oh yeah,
well done.
We were very, very proud of it in the end, but it literally was so draining to do. We shot that in like early December, and we were like, we'll get it out New Year's Day. And the film released in like March.
Yeah.
But yeah, because we decided we could rush it and get it out New Year's Day, but we think it's really good, so we're gonna take our time and get these effects looking right and get this color corrected properly. And it turned out really, really well, and it's made me really excited for doing this new series we're working on, because we've been literally writing it for about 2 years. And it's gonna be fucking great. I can't wait. I can't wait for everyone to see it in like 5 years' time when it comes out. But you can email us at whowatcheswhopod@gmail.com. I think that's everything.
Yep, that's everything.
Look at that. We hit feature length. Thank you, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.